very good, close friends, partners in business, and we have changed their organization in a big different way. And so, just all that to say, you know, your first introduction might not always be the best, and we can dive in and fix these things, but it's the champion for his organization, which is the real value for him in this whole thing. It's him coming to the table and saying, I want my people better. I want to make them more efficient. And so that is the quick story, and I'll turn it over to Papa Bear here for his steps. So.
Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Good morning. My name is Mark Ravoli, Vice President of Customer Service at HID, and I'm sure all of you are familiar with HID. It's a badge that allows you to get in the building every day. We're the largest in the world, okay? We're at every major airport. So that's what we do. The readers in this building are all HID. So let me tell you a little bit how we started this project. In the old days, we're an ISO certified company. We used to put our documents, our customer purchase orders, in banker boxes. And then as we grew, we were growing on an average of about 40% a year, okay, for the first 5 years. And as we grew, it started, these banker boxes became, we'll put them over into an empty cubicle. And then the empty cubicle, the boxes became higher than the empty cubicle, and we said, oh, now we need to get a warehouse. So think of this. We had a warehouse just to store paper in, okay? So God forbid, if someone needed something, we'd have to go over and find it in a banker box. This happened to me on 3 occasions. I'd go over with someone from our facilities team, take me over on a forklift, lift me up, and it always worked like this. The box that I needed was always on the damn 3rd shelf, 20 feet above the ground. So it'd lift me up on this pallet, get the box. This whole process would take about 3 hours. Try to find the document that I was looking for, and we'd find it. We'd eventually find it. Sometimes it take 3 hours, sometimes it take a whole day. So we said there's got to be a better way. So we process about, think of this, about 500 to 600 orders a day, just at the facility that I'm at. So we were introduced to the RICO team, and they had a solution for us where they can put these documents on a server, and it's really a really nice process that we have 12 agents in Irvine location that when an order is placed, it gets scanned in, and if you ever need to retrieve that document, it's on a server. The customer service rep will either type in the customer's PO or the HID sales order number, and within 10 seconds, it's right there on their screen. Not having to go get someone from facilities, to get a forklift, to go over into a building. So as we grew, we bought other companies. As Doug mentioned, we have a facility in Connecticut, we have a facility in Minnesota. Everybody's on the same platform. We have one main server in Irvine that
Mario OS.
Altium Inc.
He's here.
Mario.
I think he's on the blue team.
Right here.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, put that on Mario.
We're going to take the process.
Get your barcode on the badge there, so we can get you entered into the iPad giveaway.
Oh, nice.
And
Try to sway this way, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to associate a picture with this, and I promise you it won't show up on Facebook.
And that's actually a camera that Rico offers that can actually scan metadata and memo data and actually upload the images with any of the metadata or memo data.
Nice.
Something that will weigh.
And there's a jump drive in there, and there's a cheat sheet in there of the presentation. The reason I'm telling you is because he's already covered that, so you kind of missed that part.
Okay.
So there's a cheat sheet in there that goes over each one of the vendors' presentations as you go through. If you want to take a look at it, you can, or you can just leave it in the bag and just sit down and have a seat. You can grab coffee and refreshments right there.
Yes.
Yeah,
show
go.
the restaurant.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Elena from
Oh, hey, good to meet you.
How are you?
Finally, yeah.
Chatting on the phone so much.
Yeah, I know.
How's everything going?
Good, good, good. Thanks. I think that's a coffee spot. Please climb in and have a seat. Good morning, Joe Becker, I'm guessing.
Yeah. All right.
There you go,
Thank you
Mr. Let me show you where you're set up at. You actually see where that door that says Colfax? You're in there, and you can set up your computer at the monitor. Yeah.
Talking to that local system.
No, 99. Yeah.
We'll get to the point where we don't really even have to scan
Into that room right there. The far end, I put your stuff down there on the red tab.
Because the software, I'm confident the software will be so good that you can send it right into our Oracle system direct. So what we've basically done is Doug helped me. We got a team of engineers that came to our facility, spent 2.5 days, put together a statement of work for me. I reviewed it, made just a few minor tweaks. So our business, 70% of our business is what I call pick, pack, and ship. We pull something off the shelf, pack it up,
Can you hold it for just 1 second? I'm just going to go make sure the Kofax guy can get
so
set
I
up.
said,
Okay.
I think, if we can concentrate on that 70 to 80% of our business that's pick, pack, and ship, that means the document, when we start that purchase order, it can go right through the scanning process, right into Oracle, and minimize the amount of typing that has to take place. So we're going through an Oracle implementation where we're going from 11i to 12. And I don't know if any of you have gone through that, and it's a bit painful. You would think it's not, but it's a bit painful. So we've actually had a couple of, I wouldn't say they're showstoppers, but where we've had to actually stop and kind of re-gear everything because the implementation didn't go as well as we thought. Well, we're going live October 4th. So the implementation is going to take place. As the president of our company said, is there any chance, someone said, is there any chance that we're not going to go live on October 4th? Can the date change? He said, the date won't change, but the people can change. So we're going live October 4th. That delay that we had in Oracle had actually caused a delay for us to implement our KTM solution with scanning because we built that whole platform on Oracle 12. So with that said, we're now going to go live in the month of November when we're actually going to start the scanning process. For us, it's going to be tremendous because we will implement that process in Irvine. We'll let it run for about 90 days, make sure all the bugs are worked out, then we'll implement it in Connecticut, we'll implement it in Minnesota, and we'll implement it in the UK. My goal is to implement it throughout the world. So you talk about efficiencies. We're putting in 400 to 500 orders a day manually. It's mind-boggling to see how fast those documents get into the system. They're accurate. Now, Rico came in, had to learn our part numbers, and I have to tell you, they did a great job. And the end result is see the fact that you see a customer PO go through the first time, or if it finds an error, it's going to say, I'm not quite sure what this is. Can you help me out here? So it'll highlight for you on a screen something for you to check. So I see the great value there and efficiency of actually taking this process that was been done forever as manually typing it in, going through a scanning process, which is going to be a tremendous time saver for us and to our customers too. I mean, HID, we built our company, it's all about customer service. We really thrive on that. And we're always focusing on looking at how we can, present more value to our customers through automation, things like that. So we're constantly looking at things like that. So it's been a good experience, very good experience. So I enjoy working with Doug. His team is fabulous, and none of this has been rehearsed. This is my story, and that's what it is. It's a real life story. If anyone has any questions, I'd be more happy to answer those questions. Thank you.
What was the software underlayer that you had to do your scanning and then archiving?
So
Was it a Rico product or was it a third-party product?
yeah,
So it's Kofax right here.
Right.
So, yeah, so when we go into the breakout sessions, we can talk about that. But so the underlying one is Capture. So Capture application and the methodology that goes behind it. When Mark called me up again and said, all right, how can we make this better? Here's what I want to do. And that was the first goal, is to get his requirements of what he wanted to do with the team, and then we built the solution around that.
I have to tell you how bad it was. So I had an IT group, and I'm sure a lot of you are in IT. I have nothing against people in IT, okay? But when you're relying on an IT group to support you, and you hear no news is good news, in my opinion, and I'm thinking everything is running and everything is good, well, guess what? It wasn't good. So what had happened was, I had an IT group that 3 of these people are no longer even with the company. That, to tell you how bad it was, I was on software revisions that weren't even supported anymore. And I didn't even know this. I just knew, hey, the system was working, everything's good, until it broke down. And they said, well, we don't support this software. I was like 8 versions behind. Like, what the hell? Who's helping me here? Oh, Mark, we didn't have time. Or, come on, this is our lifeline. If we don't take orders, we don't pay your paycheck. So, needless to say, that group was gone. We have a new group now that we're always on top of, software is coming up, we renew it. Servers need to be replaced, we do it. The infrastructure is so important, I can't emphasize that enough, that if it wasn't for Doug telling me these things, like, no one in my own group even told me this. So the one day we call up for software support, the guy goes, that's 8 versions ago. We don't support that. So it was important for me to know this and realize this, that some of these skeletons came out of the closet, that people in my own group weren't even supporting me. Now, that's no more. It doesn't happen. So that's one thing I just wanted to emphasize. That was really key.
Yeah, I think, again, when I said that, as far as him being a champion, exactly right. And so now, we actually have a standing kind of protocol every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, informally. We'll sit down and discuss those, and I'll have kind of a list of questions and just say, hey, questions, comments, be aware of these things. These are what are going on, and then he takes ownership in that in his organization. And just like he said, the people aren't there anymore, right? He makes sure that he's talking to his peers or the CEO or things like that and says, hey, this is a critical business component, because you wouldn't do that to Oracle, you wouldn't do that to your financial package. Well, this is a package to help his organization as well too, and so it's the emphasis needs to be on that. So.
Yes?
Can you talk briefly about the ROI that you developed as you were either looking at this project when you first started and or as you went through it? I think a lot of people have questions about that.
So I haven't completed that yet because we haven't fully implemented the final process that we're looking at. But I can tell you this, just from the scanning, the back-end scanning, we eliminated, like I said, 3 warehouses in North America that on average were costing us about $2,500 a month just to store boxes, okay? So to implement the scanner and the software and what we're doing presently today was, I think, right around $6,500. So, I mean, the payback was like, in the first couple months, we were off and running. Yeah, it was just
What
amazing.
about people savings, time savings, efficiencies? Were you able to quantify any of that? Or?
Yeah, and that's something I'm not proud to talk about because I love people. And people are what make a company work. What we're looking at now, there's a possibility it could eliminate quite a few jobs. That's reality. And for many of you that work directly, I work directly with our CEO quite a bit. That's always the first thing I remark. How many jobs can we eliminate by doing this? Like, come on, now let me get it implemented, and I'll tell you. But yeah, there can be a drastic savings in headcount. Yeah, when we fully implement this, it'll be quite a
What are
bit.
your next phases? What is the next phase?
So the next phase is we're going to implement KTM, which is scanning the front end. So we will eliminate the scanning at the back end. So documents will be scanned right in instead of having to manually type them in. And all that front end scanning will take care of what we used to do in the back end. So that's our goal.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.